Hey, happy Thursday, everyone, and welcome to the HR Plug podcast. I am your host, LaShawn Davis, and I'm excited to be here with you this evening after having a week off. We were not here last week because, as you all know, if you've been following the show, it was the Unplug conference, and it was an amazing experience. We had a great time. But now it's back to the grind. So excited to be here tonight. And if you're watching, don't forget to say hello. Let us know that you're watching so that we can appreciate you for spending some time with us on your Thursday evening. Listen, so the Unplugged conference went totally unexpected, but in a good way. In it, we realized that there are so many of us operating in the world of work, in the workplace, and we're living and working through expectations of everybody else. Like, the company doesn't want me to have natural hair or to wear an afro. So I have to get extensions, or I have to wear a wig, or I have to wear makeup to cover my tattoos, or I can't get a piercing, or my parents want me to be a doctor. So that's the life that I'll have to live. And we realize that there's so many people operating in life, but they're a stranger to themselves, or they find it hard to accept being who they authentically are because it might disappoint someone else. And all of that was revealed during our Unplugged conference this past week. We learned that if I ask you, who are you? And your response tells me more so what you do and not who you are, then you might be disconnected from living your purpose or living your authentic self. And so, as I thought about that and had revelations about that, there are some things that I'm going to be happy to announce that we're going to be facilitating to help people discover who they are. Because once you know who you are, you know what you're deserving of. You know what you can command. You can command a room. You know how to build confidence because you're walking in your purpose. And there's so many of us walking in fear or walking in anxiety because we just don't know who we are and therefore are unable to walk in our true self. So be on the lookout for that. But Unplugged conference was amazing. There were so many people that came out. And while I anticipated pouring into others, they poured into me and made my heart so full. So be sure you connect with the HR Plug on LinkedIn, as there we will be posting pictures and video recaps of the event. And very soon we'll be announcing Unplug 2024, whose theme is going to be identity theft. We're going to be talking about how to restate, how to reclaim your identity, how to stop living as a stranger to yourself, how to really be the person that you were born and created to be so that you can live in your purpose and walk in your purpose and not feel like you need validation, approval, or acceptance from anybody else. Once you learn how to operate in who you are, that's when you can go in there and you can make your demands and you can command what you know you rightfully deserve. But right now, we're unable to do that because we're strangers to ourselves. So we're going to start talking about Unplugged 2024 in the very near future, where we're going to be talking about ways to restate and reclaim your true identity. And tonight, ironically, our guest has been able to do that successfully. We are talking to Deion Washington, a comedian who calls himself the Light and Laughter. And I personally have known Deion for about maybe 2 or 3 years now. And so his journey and his story is amazingly inspiring. So I want to invite him on the show and welcome him tonight. And I want you to truly take a moment to reflect on your own life as you hear this conversation, because Deion is evidence that it doesn't matter where you start, it doesn't matter who didn't support you, it didn't matter who talked about you, it doesn't matter what roadblocks or stumbling blocks you may have encountered, you still have time to live the life that you designed for yourself, and you still can be your authentic self and create a life doing so. So I'm going to invite Deion to the stage. Let me warn you that he is funny, so there might be some cackles and moments of just sheer cackling and laughter because that's who he is naturally. So be prepared to laugh, be prepared to have a good time on tonight's show as I welcome Deion out here with us. Hey, Deion. I hear the crowd. How are you tonight? Oh, wait, are you on mute? Because we can't hear you. Did you mute us?
Can you hear me now?
I can hear you now.
Hey,
How's it going?
it's going good. I missed you.
I miss you too. It was good catching up with you, but I still be watching.
Prime, same. I love HR Plus. Yeah, I need to tap in on LinkedIn too.
Listen, y'all heard him tap in. But listen, tonight we're going to be talking about Deion Washington, somebody who started from Memphis, Tennessee, and now resides in the Georgia, and has created a name for himself, a life for himself, being who he is. And we have some people on tonight saying hello, hello, hello. Hey Geneva, how are you? Thank you for joining us tonight. Again, as you pop in, be sure to say hello and drop a comment, any questions that you might have, because we're here to answer whatever questions that you have for us. But I'm gonna let Deion tell us a little bit about who you are and what this whole light and laughter thing is all about.
All right, so hey guys, I'm Deion Washington. I'm a stand-up comedian, actor. I do so many different things. I was photographer, just videographer, minister. Just a lot of different things, but I go by Deion. The light and laughter came from so our one of my favorite Bible scriptures is where Jesus called us to be a light, and as soon as I seen that, like it felt like a light just kind of just started flickering on my into my head, and it just turned on, and I was like, okay, I'm supposed to be a light, and then with me, through laughter is the way that I show my light. So I just wanted to be called the light and the laughter, and it started running from me.
Well, listen, I see you have people laughing all the way all over social media, but you said something interesting. So you said you're a minister.
Hmm.
So how does ministry and being a comedian, how does that all, work out?
It's very difficult. It's it is not the easiest thing to be a minister and a comedian because I
Oh, we might have lost Dion. It says that he's muted himself. So he'll be back. Again, technical difficulties won't let us be the best of us, won't get the best of us. But give us 1 minute. Let me give him an opportunity to get back on here. And while we wait, hey Jeremiah, how are you? So I'm going to tell you a little bit about Dion's story and why he's on the show. So Dion is a minister, but he didn't always start out that way. He was always a comedian, but he's been able to shift from being a comedian who told, jokes that would be deemed inappropriate for the workplace, language that wasn't colorful, and now he's segued into being a minister, and now he's back. Turn on the light where
sorry.
you are because you're dark. There we go. Don't be sorry. Just be a
So
light.
okay, but
Minister and comedian.
okay, right. So that was the hardest transition because I had to learn how to be a minister before I'm a comedian.
Mm.
My life was so wrapped around doing comedy at first, and then when I decided to give my life to God and give my gifts to Him, that became the forefront of who I was before. So it's just I had to learn to navigate through that because also as a comedian you have these jokes that come up to your head, and at first all of my jokes weren't clean. So
I just
I
told him
had to kind of
that.
that renewing of the mind had to start changing.
Come on.
So
And so
but
now you tell clean jokes,
yeah.
kinda. No, all the way
No,
clean.
all the way clean. Yeah,
Okay.
all the way clean. All the way clean. All the way clean. I and it was a hard transition just because me personally growing up as a fan of comedy, I didn't have nobody to look up to. Like
Mm.
when you look up clean comedians, the first one that's known is Bill Cosby, and I don't think that should be my idol.
You don't want to model after Bill Cosby.
So but that's technically all I had as a comedian. So I just had to really just talk to God and see how to navigate through those little
Hmm.
issues. But He navigated me through it, and I somehow came up with my own comedy clean style.
And you can flow with it because you've also found a way to put your comedy in videos, and you've now become this viral sensation. And I'm super proud of you, like I said to you. But tell us about that. Like, how did you even come up with these church picnic, choir type videos that everybody seems to be falling in love with?
Um, so I think the first video I had that like hit like 1 million views was the one of me like worshiping in the car like to a hood DJ, and that literally came from me just like worshiping in my car because like I drive and listen to worship music, and I always say like it's the most dangerous thing, that's the most dangerous safe thing ever, because for some reason we gonna make it to where we going, but God is literally taking control of the wheel because I'm crying, I'm lifting up my hands, I'm doing all this. And so in me doing that, I was like, I seen a avenue for me to put that in video form, because I'm pretty sure like other Christians go through that as well. Just worshiping and driving. Sometimes I feel like the car is the best place to talk to God, because that's just
Yeah.
you and God. It's just you, God, in a confined space, and so that went
So,
viral. And yeah.
and now how many? I mean, like not too long ago, I saw you were like on the road to 10,000 followers. You met your goal?
Not yet. Well, so 10,000. I'm sorry because
Yes.
my goal changed to 100 now.
Oh, okay. I
But
missed that.
but yeah, my goal was 10,000, and I'm not gonna lie, it's crazy because I had that goal for like the end of the year. Like I didn't think I was gonna hit 10,000
Wow.
until like the end of the. I thought it was gonna be like this super long process, and then like I want to say I talked to God about the type of content I want to make. I literally just told him this page is yours, not mine. And I think once I released that page from me being this being my Instagram or this being whatever, once I gave it to him, he was just like, "All right, well, it's mine." I mean,
And that's it. And now, how many followers are you at? And just since January, right?
yeah, since January 1st, there's like a post that I have there where it's like 2,000 followers,
Okay.
and now I'm almost at 40,000.
That's amazing. I mean, it's just beyond believable because you were anticipating 10,000 by December. And it's just amazing how we limit ourselves sometimes, and God tries to tell us I can do exceedingly if you ask me, but you asked for 10,000 and he got you to almost 40,000. That's amazing, Deion. You should really be proud of yourself. And I mean, how many of those 40,000 are bots that you purchased?
None.
Oh,
Like,
okay. I'm just making sure.
not that was the cool part, cause like I'm not gonna lie, that was like the coolest part of it was to watch like I know a lot of people actually do buy bots and stuff,
Mm-hmm.
and so I always wanted to, but I always stop. Like I always stop. 'Cause I feel like if I buy these, it'll boost my thing, and then I'll be able to be seen. And so
Mm.
what ended up happening is guys kept on telling me, no, 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 I can do it. I can do it. So I was like, okay, do it. And then the moment it started happening, like I didn't have my notifications anymore. Like it just every day just followers, 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 likes, comments, comments,
Wow.
comments, and my page is blowing up, and I'm sitting there just like, what the world is going on? I don't even have my phone. I'll just log out of it.
Wow. So you're saying you said the moment you gave your gift over to God and you stopped worrying about trying to be seen and put your focus on him, it just shot up.
Yeah,
Wow.
it's really giving my platform to him because he
Mm.
if he's who I do it for, and if he's who I'm trying to preach to the nations, I feel like that's the best way to if he's using you through your platform, give that to him. Like
Mm.
give him your platform. The moment you give him your platform, if it's his, he's gonna go above and beyond for it. But a lot of times I know, like me personally, I held on to it so tight because this is represents me, but like nah, it's supposed to represent the kingdom, and you're just a
Wow.
part of the kingdom. So yeah, sorry.
Wow. Wow. You're good. So, but it hasn't always been light and laughter for you. There was a long rocky road for you to get here. So, what are some things that happened in your past that you did not allow to dictate your future
Um,
as you were figuring out what you wanted to do with your life?
that is a deep question because there's a lot of bumps in the road I went through. Just
Mm.
the poverty, being shunned out by like people you love,
Mhm.
um, constant discouragement, not knowing if you're really built for it. Like I definitely went through a lot of self doubt, and a big reason like there was points I didn't even feel like I could even hear from God, even though I knew I heard him clearly. But like I was in a stage of like doubting I heard God because of things I was told. So it's just um to even see how God moves constantly is just like a confirmation, just like he
Mm.
with me. He got his hand with me. And I think that's what got me through it because it's just like at a point of just having nobody but my wife and my kids, and
Mm.
it's just being with them. That was the moment where I kind of just sat back and talked to God. I'm like, well, what is it that I'm not doing that you want me to do? And he told me, which he had been told me already, but I had my fear, and
Mm.
I got out the way of what he was doing, and
Mm.
yeah, it started happening. It was.
And things started happening. Now, you said I could put your business out there. So there was a
Go
point in
ahead.
time where you were also in jail, and for not a few days, it was some months,
3 months.
but you bounced back from that, and
Yeah.
you said you endured loss and poverty, and you bounced back from that. Those were low moments in your life.
Yeah. I with jail is my turning point to God. Jail was the point where like because I was at such a low point, and my previous life was streets, like I did what I had to do. So the fact of like I was trying God, I was like, God, I give you my life, and certain things like I just it wasn't working out, and I didn't trust him, and I that was my moment where I had to learn to trust God, and I decided not to, and I tried to do it my own way, and he snatched me up real fast, put me in a jail cell for something that would have took, for most people, that would have took them, they would have got out the next day. I had to sit
Mm.
there for like 30, not 30 days, 90 days,
Wow,
uh,
3 months.
3 months. And that was the time that God really got to speak to me. He orchestrated it so well to the point of like he left me in a cell by my room. Like this is during the COVID time, so like the jail is extremely packed with everybody. Like there's 3 people
Mm.
in cells, and he orchestrated up to a way where it was just me and him in a cell. Like one person went
Wow.
home, the other person left, and there was just an open room. And I went in there and I read my word, and that was the moment I cried reading the word, and I, because I seen myself in it. And from that moment, I was like, I'm going give you my all. And it wasn't hard after that because I still did things, but I was learning. But I'm glad I learned.
Mhm. And it was so things that probably should have took you out. You use those moments to reevaluate and revisit your life with Christ.
Yeah.
And
I like one saying I have to always tell myself is, Deion, go back to jail. And it might sound weird,
please don't go back to jail.
but no, what I mean by go back to jail is go back to the person that you were in jail, of
Mm.
like really falling in love with the word.
Hungry.
And that
Mhm.
was the place that it all started. So whenever I get in this mode, I have to tell myself like, go back to the most humble place you were with me.
Mhm. Mhm. And how long did you know you wanted to be a comedian? Like, was this something that sprung on you later in life as an adult, or did you always want to be light in laughter?
It was definitely later in life.
Mhm.
I wanted to be in the step up 3 and 4.
You
I
know
always
what?
wanted to be a break dancer. I was gonna pop block everywhere. Like I was gonna.
Everywhere.
I knew
To
I
Three
was
Six
supposed to be in
Mafia
those movies.
in Memphis.
Yeah, exactly. Like I'm supposed to be spinning on my toes and doing all this. So that's what I thought my career was gonna be. But I've always been funny. Everybody always had seen that. And my best friend had started comedy. And what ended up happening is I didn't do it because I didn't want to step on his toes as his best friend. But then I asked him one day, he was like, bro, just try it. And so I ended up making my first show, a show that he headlined. And so I could open mic it. And we threw the show in our hometown and sold it out, which was amazing for like my first time. And then I got my first amount of laughs, and since then I've just been like head forward.
Wow. And even though people told you not to do it?
Um, well, in the beginning, people was all for it. Like I think when people like when you start small, they're just like, yeah, bro, you could try, you could do anything. It's like when you get to the point of starting a little bit of success, then everybody want to throw their little 2 cents in, and
Mm.
well, I don't know
Mhm.
if you should do that.
But you still do it because it's what you want to do.
Yeah,
What
for
what
sure.
advice would you give somebody who's like maybe they want to do something that's being discouraged by other people, or maybe they're experiencing a hard time in life right now, like you did when you went to jail or what have you? What advice would you give them about how to keep going?
I would. My advice to keep going.
Because
My
you did
advice,
it, you're doing it.
yeah, but it's the reason why it's hard for me because I still struggle with keeping going today. I just choose to fight past those feelings.
Mm,
Like I'm not gonna lie, I'm not an internet person. Like I I get I'm 28, but like I'm kind of out of the era of like being on the internet all day and social media savvy. Like so it's actually a struggle for me, but I understand what's on the line.
mm,
I understand that lives on the line. Like I understand that people come to my page just for a glimpse of happiness, just to like I people. and I people tell their testimonies, and through certain jokes and certain videos I have, people are are like getting out certain things. Like even the videos be like people who don't believe in God or be like, I want to go to church. So it's more so I have to
Mm.
get myself out the way, and it's like, okay, God, if this is your purpose, then I'm gonna keep going, because right now I don't have the strength to do this, but like you give me strength, and I'll continue to keep going.
Mm-hmm. And that's important to remember when you discover your purpose and what you're supposed to be doing, which you now know is the comedy realm because of the miracles you've seen that have happened, going from 10,000 to almost 40,000 in a matter of 4 months and going viral, over 1 million views on, several different videos. Clearly, you recognize that who Deion is an answer of joy and laughter for other people. And now you have a responsibility to continue to be the solution that you are to people. So of course, that's what keeps you going and keeps you pushing. And just knowing your story alone inspires me. And I'm pushing you to tell your story more, because there's a lot of people who feel like, I've been to jail, I got a record, it's over for me. And you can show them, no, it's not. It's a lot of people who've been in poverty or might be in poverty right now and not even know where their next dollar is going to come from for a bill, and it's over for me. But you're showing them that it's not. And it's not because of a handout. It's not because you won the lottery, but it's because of what you said. You made a choice. You made a choice to recognize and realize what's attached to your purpose. And I know you laughing at me because you're saying, like, how I'm saying it sounds so good, like you already said it, but you got to own that's who you are.
It just, I guess it it's different when you hear it, like,
Mm.
because like while you're going through it, it feels like, bro, it's the end. Oh my goodness, it just feels like everything is gonna crush and crumble, and you just want to wither away. Like you
Mm.
just want to go in and crawl in a ball. But like to see how everything has changed and how life has gotten better, and like I'm able to smile now and be able to be that laughter and that joy for people,
Mm-hmm.
and it is really mind blowing to me.
Yeah, it
But
brings you joy.
I'm thankful. I'm thankful.
Yeah, like I said, I see the light and the laughter in you that I didn't see before. But you mentioned the scripture about the light happening, because God told us to be the light. But I want to remind you of a scripture that also says that when you endure the trials that come to your life, that's how you receive favor with God. And the fact that you're sitting here, being very transparent that, yeah, I'm doing it, but it's hard and I'm still struggling trying to keep pushing. You got to remember, the enemy's going to do everything he can to make you not fulfill your purpose, because people need your laughter. People need what you offer. You are a solution, you are an answer. So anything that we can make sure that people stay sad, struggle, depressed, miserable, and not see a video from Deion, he's going to try to do that. You know what I mean? And the fact that you've made up your mind to keep pushing through, you have to know that your endurance brings favor. So that is something that you got to
I needed that. I needed
remember.
that word. I needed that.
And so we got some people saying hello to you. So we have wifey on,
Hey,
and
baby.
and happy that she's joined. I miss y'all so much.
Girl,
But
we
good to
miss you
see
too.
her on here. And then we have Leah on, and she says hello. And Victor's on, and he says hello.
Vic.
And even the story you're telling now is touching people, to God be the glory to hear, what it is. And my good friend Tara is on. Hi, Tara. And she says that comedy feeds the soul.
It does.
It feeds the
It
soul.
does.
I mean, a good laugh, man, is nothing like it.
I will say this. Like one of the people that I just like, I like as a comedian is Steve Harvey, and it's like laughter like really does save the soul, because like laughter, saved my mom, like when she was going through a lot of times, and Steve Harvey snapped her out doing something that would just like drastically change my whole life. So like
Mm.
the fact that like laughter has always been a like Jesus saved me. So you say that right now, but laughter has always been a safe place, like something that's always helped save me from anything that I'm
Mm.
going through. So
It's it's a place of, um, peace too, right? Because laughter kind of distracts you from the things that have you sad because you're focusing, on joy. But you mentioned Steve Harvey, so is he your favorite comedian?
no, not at
Oh,
all. I like, trust me, I love Steve Harvey to death. I to be honest, my first stand up show, which okay, this is cool. So my first stand up show I ever went to see live was Steve Harvey doing his first show not cussing. It was at
ah,
Megafest in Atlanta, and my mom took me because she's such a huge Steve Harvey fan. But my first comedy show is seeing him try not to cuss and transition from clean comedy for a bunch of church people.
wow.
So the fact that like I do that now is like
I mean,
always.
come on, talk about alignment. So you need to be referring to Steve Harvey because you saw him do what you have to do now. And he did it, and he didn't compromise who he was in
At all.
doing it. We have, so Tara says that her cousin cast for Steve Harvey's court show, so we should do a meet and greet. Look, see.
Talk to me. Talk to me.
Victor says the storm is over now, Dion, and that's what you gotta focus on. The storm is over now, and then she's tagged her cousin. Hey, Rashida, here goes. Shout out to Rashida Aiken. Cause look, we're gonna get you to meet Steve Harvey. How about that? I'm putting it out
I,
there. We
I
gonna we
will.
gonna
Oh, y'all gonna make me. Y'all gonna do
he
that.
he was a part of your inspiration of this drastic turnaround. Maybe he might need to hear, everybody I realize needs to hear sometimes that they've made a difference in someone else, because that's what keeps them going. You said that's what keeps you going and keeps you pushing. So maybe Steve needs to hear about the impact of
Well,
your
I'm
first
with
show
it.
getting into comedy was him doing a clean show.
No, I'm with it. I'm with it because I always felt like that was just such a huge alignment. Like my first time being introduced to comedy live was clean, but from a person who switched it around. So I
Yeah.
always.
That's your link. So I say this like I know Steve Harvey personally, and like I could just text him right now and be like, "Hey, I got Deion that I want you to meet." But my girl Tara has a link. But if enough people watch this show, Deion, and we tag Steve Harvey, maybe we can get his attention, and he'll at least reach out. And
I'm
yeah,
with it.
look
Let's
at
go.
that. I
Look at
love you,
God.
Tara. She says, maybe that's why I felt compelled to join you this evening. Yes, to make this connection. Everything happens, and if we get Steve Harvey on here so that he knows the difference that he's making, and people like you, everyday people like you, it might make his day. So we're gonna make it happen. We're gonna tag. I'm gonna need you to tag. If you're watching this, I need you to tag. And let's get Steve Harvey's attention. What you think, Deion? Look, you
Tag team.
manifested 10 to
Tag team.
40,000 in 4 months, so it's nothing too impossible.
I think this. I will say this. I do not limit God anymore. That is one thing I have learned. You do not limit God, and
Yeah,
I know Steve is a man of God, so I'm pretty sure.
yeah.
I know it can happen. So
It's gonna happen. It's definitely gonna happen. We gonna, even if it's just a little comment, hey Dion, we got his attention, and now he knows that
that's all I
he made a
need.
difference. That's it. Right. So, all right. So people, we got people tagging, Mr. Steve Harvey. So if he's watching Dion, no, when he sees this Dion, what do you want to say to him? What's your message to Mr. Harvey?
Wow. Thank you. One, because like not only like he was my first, but he saved my mom. Like
Mm.
he real deal saved my mom, and just him being who he was saved her. So, like, thank you. Like, even if it's just me getting a thank you for what you did for my mom and inspiring me to do that, that is cool. But if you want me to be on the show, want to sign me, holla at me. You know what I'm saying? I am
You
available.
open.
I am in Georgia. I'm near you. Like we could make this happen at any
For
time.
real.
Like I
Quickly.
will pull up quick with the quickness.
And he
So
doesn't even have to cover the cost of transportation. You got
at
that, right?
all,
You,
I'm in the car now. Give me the address. I'm there. Uh, but
look.
no, seriously, just honestly, thank you because what you do has saved so many people on top
Yeah.
of my and me. So
Yeah, and I would agree. I mean, he is definitely an example of discipline and authenticity because he apologizes to no one for who he is, and he, speaks truth, and it's created success for him as well. And he's had humbling moments and learning moments and laughter and all that. He's a king of comedy, So interestingly enough, I didn't anticipate speaking about Steve Harvey tonight, but I'm kind of glad. I'm kind of glad we did because he does definitely embody what tonight's show is about, which is about just being authentically you and not being afraid to be you because you are an answer for somebody else. Once you can step into the true identity of what you were called to do and walk in your purpose, you were created to save somebody else and change lives. So you started that, Deion, and you're doing that. And I wanted to celebrate you tonight on this show.
no, I appreciate it. I just it's a blessing. It's amazing. I'm happy to be here. Trust me. I'm here on the HR Plug podcast. Like come on, like
Oh my goodness! And you was
I done
probably
made it
HR's
because
worst
I'm here.
nightmare. When you back in your corporate America days,
Yeah,
the troublemaker.
yeah, always. I can't. I'm better now.
I'm so glad you're better. So tell everybody, number one, what's next for you? What are you working on? How can the viewers support your next big thing?
Okay, so one, y'all can go on my Instagram and follow me at Deion T Washington because that is where all of my content that I'm trying
Okay.
to push and blow up. But the next show I'm having is at Uptown Comedy Corner, one of Atlanta's top comedy clubs. It just saying, one of Atlanta's top comedy clubs, Uptown Comedy Corner. We're
Uptown
doing an
Comedy
open mic
Corner.
April 15th,
Okay. April
and
15th,
we're doing
Uptown Comedy Corner.
April 5th at 4 p.m. And what we're doing is we're bringing a bunch of clean Christian comedians out to try out their jokes, and it is free. You know what I'm saying? Because I
Mm,
feel like we need a place to go,
okay.
laugh, and turn up. So if y'all want to come, I would advise it. It's gonna be funny. Y'all will hear some new jokes that I've been writing, and also you'll see some really big names that you see on the internet often. So
Mean
I
like
know
names like
I got some
Deion
people coming
Washington?
through.
Names like Deion Washington?
Names like me, but even bigger. Like right now, I'm talking about we getting
Okay.
we we
Exciting. So April 15th, Uptown Comedy Corner, Atlanta, Georgia, absolutely free. An event you're putting on for clean comedy and fun.
yeah, because
All
I feel
right.
like we need to push. I want to push clean comedy. Like I feel like unclean comedy got a day every day. Like they got a day every day.
Yeah.
It's every day, but there's no days for us and for people who don't want to hear all the craziness and this.
Depressing
Trust me,
jokes.
comedy can get a little wild. So
Mm.
if you want to come and laugh and go on a date, take somebody out, have a good time.
Nah, it's free. So that we're gonna take you out, but then there's dinner afterwards, right? I mean, that ain't the
Oh,
date
and they
night.
got
Yeah.
food there, and the food busting.
Oh, it's food. Okay.
It's a whole little restaurant in there. I'm talking about they got the everything,
Everything. Uptown
everything.
Comedy Club, Atlanta, Georgia, April 15th, 4 p.m. Come and see Deion and friends live. If you need a host, I'm available, just so you know. I mean, I'm not a comedian or anything like that, but I know sometimes, it's hard to find talent. And I just wanted to say, yeah, I'm right here.
Nah, don't be
Right here.
playing with me now.
No. No, no, no. But listen, I'm definitely gonna try to come out and support you. I'm gonna talk to Victor about it, and we will come out there. Now, Atlanta, that's traffic and all of that good stuff. But you 4 o'clock, so you before the traffic.
I'm before the traffic. You get
Before the
to chill.
traffic.
You get to chill during the traffic. You get to chill, laugh during the traffic, and let the traffic pass, and then you go out.
Then
Boom.
we go
I'm
out. Okay. Excited
uh,
for you. Give us that Instagram one more time.
is Deion T Washington, DeionTWashington at
Deion
G.
T. Washington. And in
Yep.
4 more months, we're gonna be 40 more thousand followers deeper. Yep, we got to put it out there. And you're going to have a shout out from Steve Harvey on your post.
That's what
Yeah.
we, that's the new goal. All right, bet. Let's go. I'm running with it.
That's what we're doing. We're going to get Steve Harvey. Look, I'm gonna take clips of this and put it everywhere. He's going to get this attention. Why wouldn't he? It's Deion
Why
Washington.
wouldn't he?
It's
Like
the HR Plug podcast.
facts,
I mean,
facts.
truthfully, he should be fighting to get to us, but we understand he's a busy man.
Proof. You know what I'm saying? He busy. He got a lot of different shows to do.
He got a lot of things going on, so I'm okay with reminding him of the greatness that we are and why he should tap on in.
I used to tap in.
Yeah.
Tap in, Steve.
Well, listen, Dion, I had so much fun with you tonight. Thank you so much for joining us. We all are going to go follow Dion T. Washington on Instagram. We're going to mark our calendars for April the 15th, Uptown Comedy Club, Atlanta, Georgia, at 4 p.m. Absolutely free with some bussin' food, as he said. And follow his page to stay tuned to who is going to be there and who else you might see, as he's planning and being is the visionary behind a nice afternoon, evening of pure, clean, fun comedy right here in Atlanta. So thank you, Dion, for joining us. I'm going to have you go backstage. I'm going to close out the show and I'll be right back, okay? Thanks,
All
Dion.
right. Thank y'all. Love y'all.
Listen, Dion is just an example of not just the light, not just the laughter, but truly what life is like when you live authentically in your purpose. He did not allow poverty or, incarceration or the naysayers or lack of support to stop him from truly living the life that he knows he was called to do as a comedian, and balancing that life and the life as a minister and the life as a husband and a father. He's been able to truly walk into his purpose and unapologetically be who he is. And although it gets hard and although he has struggles and although there are days that he has to truly push himself to live and be in his purpose, what motivates him and pushes him is knowing the lives that he's impacting, the people who comment about the change that he's making in his life and the things that he's doing to drive change and improvement and bring joy into the lives of others. And that's what keeps him going. So I encourage you tonight, if you're feeling discouraged, remember your purpose. And if you don't know what your purpose is, start the journey to discovering it, because once you do, that's when you find the most peace. That's when your trying times become your triumphant victories. And that's when you truly understand why you're here, who you are, and the difference that you were called to be as you put greatness into the world by being yourself. Thank you so much for joining the show tonight. And if you haven't already done so, please go ahead and subscribe to this podcast and tag Steve Harvey so that we can get Steve to connect with Deion coupled with Tara's cousin giving us the hookup. That's what this is about. It's about making dreams come true, but it's also reminding people the difference and the impact that they've made in the lives of others. And that's what we're hoping that we can do for Deion and Steve Harvey. So thank you again for joining. And you can follow the HR Plug also on Instagram at the HR Plug. And we're also on TikTok and we're also on Twitter. So thanks again for joining tonight on the HR Plug podcast. And we will see you next week with a new episode live right here on Thursday at 8 p.m. Have a good evening, everyone, and thank you for watching.